Why you never know which tense to use.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Neurofluency. I hope you're doing well today. John, I've been reading some of the messages we received this week, and there's one topic that keeps coming up.
Oh, that's usually a sign.
Yes, a lot of students are saying the same thing. They say grammar freezes them. More specifically, English tenses freeze them.
Ah, the classic moment.
Exactly. They say things like, I know the rules, I studied the chart, but when I start speaking, I panic. And then comes the question, is it present perfect, simple past? Should I say will or going to? And by the time they decide, the conversation has already moved on.
So it's not that they don't know English.
No, it's that they don't trust their choice. And that hesitation, that split second of doubt, it freezes them.
That's interesting, because when someone freezes choosing a tense, it's rarely about grammar. It's about perception.
Perception?
Yes, not of verbs, of time.
So you're saying people don't struggle with tenses, they struggle with how English sees time.
Exactly. And once you understand that, you stop memorizing rules and you start seeing patterns.
So if you've ever thought, why do I never know which tense to use, stay with us, because today we're going to show you that the problem isn't your memory, it's your mental timeline. Let's go.
Grammar is time perception. Let me ask you something, Mary. When you think about the past, what do you see?
That's a deep question.
No, really. When you think about something that happened yesterday, does it feel finished, closed, or does it still feel connected to now?
Sometimes it feels finished. Sometimes it still feels relevant.
Exactly. And that right there is where English grammar lives. Not in rules, in perspective. Most people think tenses are mechanical, past, present, future. Memorize the forms, apply the formula. But English doesn't just divide time into 3 boxes. It asks something more subtle. How does this event relate to the present moment?
So when I panic choosing a tense, it's not because I forgot the rule.
It's because your brain is trying to decide, is this event closed or is it still connected? Think about this. I lived in London in 2018. That's closed, finished, locked in a specific time. Now compare it to, I have lived in London. That's different. It's past, but it touches the present. It tells me about your experience now. Same action, different mental framing.
So English forces you to define the relationship between past and present.
Yes, and many languages don't require that level of precision. So when you speak English, your brain hesitates. Not because it doesn't know grammar, but because it's not used to categorizing time that way. You're not choosing a verb form, you're choosing a time perspective. And that's a cognitive decision, not a grammatical one.
That's why it feels slow, because I'm translating the event first, then trying to find the correct tense.
Exactly. And fluency disappears the moment you start translating time.
English isn't complicated, it's specific. It asks, is it complete? Is it ongoing? Is it temporary? Is it connected to now? If you don't consciously see those differences, your brain freezes. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you memorize charts, the more pressure you feel to choose correctly. But pressure blocks perception, and perception is what tense selection actually requires.
So what we really need is not more rules. It's a new way of seeing time.
Exactly. And in the next part, we're going to take the most confusing example of all, present perfect versus simple past, and show you that it's not grammar, it's psychology. And once you see it, you won't hesitate again.
Present perfect versus simple past. The psychology of closed versus connected.
Okay, let's face it. Present perfect is the tense that traumatizes people. Why can't I just say I went? Why do I need I have gone?
Because English is not asking when first, it's asking something deeper. Is this event closed, or is it still connected to now? Let's slow this down. Listen to these two sentences. I visited London in 2019. I have visited London. Same verb, different perception.
The first one, simple past, does something very clear. It places the event inside a closed time box. Finished, complete, disconnected from the present moment. It's a historical fact.
The second one, present perfect, does something subtle. It removes the timestamp, and it keeps the experience alive in the present. I have visited London means at this moment I carry that experience. It's part of who I am now.
So, present perfect is not more complicated, it's more relational.
Exactly. It describes how the past touches the present. That's why we say, I have finished, because now, at this moment, the result matters. But if I say, I finished yesterday, the action is locked in yesterday, closed.
Let's test your intuition. Which one sounds natural? Did you eat yet? Or have you eaten yet? Why does the second one feel more common? Because we're asking about your current state. Are you hungry now? Is the action relevant now? English zooms in to relevance.
And here's where learners freeze. In many languages, past is past, one form, one box. But English divides the past into categories: closed and dated, undefined but relevant, experience without timestamp. So when you speak, your brain hesitates, not because it forgot the rule, but because it's scanning for connection.
So the real internal question isn't what tense is this? It's is this event finished in a closed time frame, or does it still affect the present moment?
Yes, and once you train that question, the tense chooses itself. Now let's go even deeper. Why does English obsess over ongoing actions?
Why do we need I work and I am working? Why not just one? Because English doesn't only categorize time, it categorizes process, and that's where continuous tenses enter the picture. In the next block, we're going to explore why English loves action in motion and why understanding that will eliminate half your grammar anxiety instantly. Perfect. Now we move into the next mental shift. If present perfect versus simple past is about connection, continuous tenses are about process perception. This is where learners start saying, why so many ing forms? Let's break it psychologically.
Simple versus continuous, the psychology of process.
All right, I can feel the difference between closed and connected now. But here's another thing that confuses people. Why do we need both? I work and I am working. Isn't that redundant?
It looks redundant, but it's perceptual. English doesn't just care about time, it cares about how you see the action.
Let's compare. I work. This is a fact. Stable, general, repeated. It defines something about you. Now listen to this. I am working. Suddenly, the camera zooms in. The action is happening right now. It's temporary, in motion, alive.
English has what I call a moving camera. When you use the continuous form, you're showing the action unfolding. You're inside the moment. When you use the simple form, you're outside the moment. You're describing it as a whole.
So it's like watching a movie versus reading a summary.
Exactly. I live in New York. That's your life structure. I am living in New York. That suggests it's temporary, maybe a phase, maybe not permanent. English uses grammar to signal stability versus temporariness.
And this goes beyond the present. Think about this. She talked to him. She was talking to him. The second one feels like you interrupted something. It feels dynamic, open, not finished.
That's why we say, you're always interrupting. We don't mean it's happening right now. We use continuous to show emotional irritation. Process creates intensity. English uses ing to dramatize.
So continuous isn't about time only. It's about perspective.
Yes, It's about whether you're presenting the action as a complete unit or an unfolding experience. And here's why learners freeze again. In many languages, there's one structure for present actions, but English constantly asks, is this permanent? Is this temporary? Is it happening now? Is this a habit? You're not choosing grammar, you're choosing viewpoint.
If you say, I work late, that's part of your routine. If you say, I'm working late, that's tonight, temporary, specific, different perception, different mental frame. And once you realize that, the anxiety starts to drop because you stop thinking, what's the rule? And you start thinking, how do I see this action?
But we're not done. There's one more tense category that creates hesitation, the future. Why do we have will, going to, and even present continuous for the future? Because English doesn't just describe the future, it measures intention. And in the next block, we're going to see how future tenses reveal commitment levels and why understanding that removes the last layer of tense confusion. Perfect. Now we complete the time perception framework with the future. This is where people say, why does English have 3 futures? It doesn't. It has 3 levels of intention. Let's break it down.
The future, intention, prediction, and commitment.
All right. Present perfect makes sense. Continuous makes sense. But the future, why do we need I will call you, I'm going to call you, I'm calling you tomorrow? Isn't the future just the future?
It is, but English isn't describing time. It's describing certainty and intention. Let's start simple. I will call you. This is often spontaneous, a decision made in the moment. You just decided. You're offering, predicting, volunteering. It feels immediate.
Now compare it to I'm going to call you. This sounds planned. The intention existed before this conversation. The decision is already formed.
So the difference isn't about tomorrow. It's about when the decision happened.
Exactly. English tracks mental commitment. Now listen to this. I'm calling you tomorrow. Why present continuous? Because it's scheduled, arranged, fixed in your calendar. It feels organized, almost inevitable.
So English future forms are not random variations. They signal spontaneity, intention, arrangement, prediction, certainty. Think about this sentence. It will rain tomorrow. That's a prediction. Now compare it's going to rain. That often implies evidence. You see dark clouds. There's visible proof. The future feels closer, more certain.
So the future tense in English is really about confidence levels.
Yes, it's about how strongly the speaker sees the event happening, not just when. And now you can see the pattern. Past, is it closed or connected? Present, is it fact or process? Future, is it spontaneous, planned, or scheduled? English constantly asks, how do you perceive the event? Not just when did it happen?
That's why memorizing tense charts feels overwhelming, because charts list forms, but fluency requires perception. You don't need 12 tenses. You need 3 mental questions. Is it closed? Is it ongoing? Is it intentional? And when you train those questions, the grammar organizes itself.
So maybe the reason people freeze is not because English has too many tenses.
It's because their brain hasn't reorganized time the English way yet. And now comes the practical part. How do you retrain your brain to see time differently? How do you stop translating from your native timeline? In the next segment, we're going to build a simple mental framework you can use immediately so you never panic choosing a tense again. Perfect. Now we move from insight to implementation. This is where we convert understanding into cognitive training. No charts, no overload, just a mental framework. How to retrain your brain to see time differently.
Okay, I understand the theory now, but when I'm in a real conversation, I don't have time to analyze philosophy. How do I actually stop freezing?
You don't memorize more, you simplify the decision. Instead of asking, what tense is this?
You ask 3 perception questions.
1. Is the time closed? Is the action locked in a specific past moment? Finished, dated, complete? If yes, simple past. I visited her last week. Closed, done. If no, move to question 2.
2. Is the action connected or ongoing? Does it still affect now? Is it unfinished? Is it happening in this moment? If yes, present perfect or continuous. I have finished. Result now matters. I am working. Process now happening. You're not choosing grammar, you're choosing connection or movement.
3. Is it about intention? Are you expressing a spontaneous decision, will, a prior plan, going to, a scheduled arrangement, present continuous? That's it. 3 filters, not 12 tenses. Closed, ongoing, intentional.
So instead of memorizing forms, I train perception.
Yes, because fluency is fast categorization, not rule recall. And here's the key training method. Stop practicing isolated sentences. Start practicing contrast. Say 2 versions. I lived there. I have lived there. Ask yourself, what changed in meaning? Not in form, in meaning. Your brain learns through contrast, not repetition alone.
Second method, visualize timelines. When you speak, imagine a simple mental line. Past, present, future. Place the action. Is it inside a closed box? Is it stretching into now? Is it projected forward with intention? Visualization reduces hesitation.
And third, reduce perfection pressure. Most tense hesitation comes from fear of being wrong, but communication tolerates small tense mistakes. Confidence does not tolerate hesitation. Choose, speak, adjust later.
So the goal isn't perfect tense usage, it's fast decision-making.
Exactly. Fluency is speed of perception, and perception can be trained. Now let's bring this home. If you've ever said, I know grammar, but I freeze when speaking, it's not because you're bad at English. It's because your brain is translating time through your native language framework, and English organizes time differently. Once you adopt its timeline, the freezing disappears.
So maybe you never had a grammar problem.
You had a time perception problem.
If this episode changed how you see tenses, stop memorizing charts, start training perception. Closed, ongoing, intentional. That's your new grammar system. Follow Neurofluency if you want English to feel intuitive, not analytical. Because fluency isn't about knowing more rules, it's about seeing the world the English way. And once you see it, you can speak it.
Just a second, John. Quick question. Do you identify with this? Have you been memorizing tense charts for years but never trained your time perception? Comment time if this episode changed how you see grammar.